So welcome to our 9.2 demo day from Pursuit. First, we have a few words from our partner Blackstone, who is so graciously hosting us tonight. We have Caitlin Barziza, who wishes to say a few words of welcome, and then we'll get started with the Pursuit program. So welcome and enjoy the show.
Hi, how is everybody feeling? Good? You guys excited? Well, first of all, I just want to give a huge welcome to each of you. We are really, really excited to have you here in our Blackstone hub, and we are thrilled that you've made it to this major milestone. My name is Caitlin Barziza, and I am a BXTI product owner who supports the Blackstone Charitable Foundation and the BXTI Charitable Committee, both of which support Pursuit through grants and volunteerism. And for those of you that don't know, BXTI stands for Blackstone Technology and Innovations, which is our technical business unit here at Blackstone. And we have had a long-standing relationship with Pursuit. We believe in the mission of the program, the importance of the work, and we have been consistently impressed with the caliber of talent that has come out of the program. We volunteer throughout all aspects of the Pursuit's life cycle, from when fellows are first interviewing to join the fellowship, to mentoring teams in the fellowship, to hosting events like today, and even down to hiring Pursuit graduates. In fact, BXTI has actually hired several Pursuit fellows, and it has been an absolute joy to have them on our team. They add tremendous value, and we are consistently impressed with everything that they bring to the table. So on a quick personal note, I just want to say it has been such a joy and so truly special to see all of the support that the graduates have in the room. The parents and loved ones walking in with these really happy smiles. They're so proud. So I just want to take a quick moment. I'd love for you guys to give a round of applause for the people that have supported you. Again, I just want to say Blackstone is really excited to be hosting demo days tonight, and we send you all of the good luck on everything that you have in the near future. And next, I'm going to introduce Caroline, the COO of Pursuit. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening. How are you feeling? Good. Yeah, all right. I am, as Caitlin mentioned, the CEO of Pursuit, and it's really my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. Nearly a year ago, the group of individuals you're going to see today came into our Pursuit community, and they didn't have little to no coding experience. And it's really, truly amazing to think about less than a year later, they are here presenting to you the apps that they have built themselves. They've come up with these ideas themselves. They've built it from scratch. It's really, really incredible, which you'll see today. And one of the reasons they were able to do this because they may not have had coding experience, but they had grit, incredible grit. They had passion. They had determination. And we know that those are fundamental to success. Today is a pretty important milestone. We'll talk more about it later too, but this is a chance for them to showcase to you what they've learned thus far and start their journey into the next phase of their journey, which is looking for jobs and getting hired, which is what they're here for and what we're all here for. So yeah, let's maybe start with just giving them a big round of applause for the last 11 months. Our mission is simple. I want to share that with you a little today. It's to create economic opportunity. And we do this by identifying individuals with highest potential and highest need to become professional software developers and future leaders. We help our fellows achieve their dreams and create pathways to life-changing mobility. And when they come into our program, our fellows make an average of $18,000, as you can see here, in terms of salary. And when they leave, they make an average of an annual salary of $90,000. And over the course of their careers, each of our fellows earns an estimated $2 million in earnings, lifetime earnings. And that is transformative, truly transformative, not just for our fellows, but for their families, for their communities, for the generations and generations after of long-term transformation, which is what we're here for. Let's applaud for that. So as we said, our fellows are here to get hired, and they get hired to write code at some of the leading companies, as you can see here, the most innovative, the leading companies in the world. Our fellows work at more than 200 different companies, including Uber, Citi, Peloton, and obviously here at Blackstone, as you can see. We focus on serving the 65% of Americans that do not have college degrees. 100% come from low-income communities, and our fellows are representative of the community we want to build, which is inclusive of all genders, all ethnicities, and all backgrounds. And our work doesn't stop with training. Through our Pursuit Commit program, we work directly with our hiring partners to create job and career advancement opportunities. Our goal is to ensure that our fellows not only get hired, but have clear pathways to go from high potential to high performing at these companies. And we partner with, again, leading companies to create these opportunities. And these are exclusively for our fellows, which is, I think, really incredible. And we provide 3 years of career support for our fellows. And you can see here some of the great companies who we've partnered with recently. We also have partnered with Union Square Ventures, which is one of the leading VCs in New York City, working with their portfolio companies. I also want to take just a moment to thank all of our fantastic supporters that have made this possible. We are so fortunate to work with the best organizations, as you can see from the logos, across business, across philanthropy, technology, and these are all partners who really believe in our mission, and we're so grateful for them. Our supporters are here on our panel as well, and a lot of them are in our audience too, so we just wanted to thank you for your support. So as a part of tonight's event, we've asked an esteemed group of leaders in tech to join us and share their real-world industry experience. During the demos, our panelists will ask our fellows questions following their demos and provide valuable feedback and insight on the project. So let's meet tonight's panelists. First, we have Maureen Edmonds. She is a talent and leadership development leader with 15 plus years of experience building and scaling people and culture programs for progressive, purpose-oriented companies, fast-moving startups like Kickstart and Medium, and established global companies alike. Currently, serving as Stash's head of talent and organizational development, she's passionate about building inclusive, learning-oriented cultures that balance agility and humanity, which is something we all need, especially within organizations undergoing significant growth or transformation. We also have here today Marcus Felder, who is a principal and head of strategic hiring initiatives and portfolio operations at Blackstone. He joined the firm in October 2020 to build and lead Blackstone Career Pathways, which is one of the firm's signature programs that aims to drive career and economic mobility for communities of untapped talent across the portfolio. He also oversees the Veterans Hiring Initiative, as well as the Refugee Hiring Initiative, working with portfolio companies to recruit, retain, and advance military-affiliated communities as well as newcomers. He attended MIT for undergrad and holds master's degrees from Syracuse University and Baruch College. Welcome, Marcus. Thank you for having us. James Gettinger runs Gutter Capital, an early-stage venture capital firm based in New York City. Prior to starting Gutter, James was a software developer and CTO turned professional gambler who was one of the top daily fantasy sports players on sites like DraftKings and FanDuel. His results show it as he's won many of the biggest tournaments in DFS, including the 2017 DraftKings Fantasy Football World Championship. He retired from professional gambling in 2020 to focus on venture investing full-time. Graduated from the Johns Hopkins University with a master's degree in computer science, specializing in machine learning. And last but certainly not least, we have Brian Long Alway. Brian Alway is a founder and managing general partner of Refashion Ventures, the Industrial Transformation Fund, which is an emerging venture capital fund manager that invests in industrial transformation through early stage supply chain innovation and technology. He's also a founder of the Worldwide Supply Chain Federation and the New York Supply Chain Meetup, and is an adjunct professor of supply chain and operations management at the Tandon School of Engineering at NYU. He holds a BA in mathematics and physics from Connecticut College and an MBA from the Stern School of Business at NYU, and is a charter holding member of the CFA Institute. Welcome, Brian. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to pass it off to Raquel, who will share a little bit more about our fellowship.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Well, a year ago, I was meeting the fellows presenting today for the very first time at our onboarding experience, where we were taking pictures and, their portrait picture that you see here, and also, giving their laptops that they were going to start the program that next Monday. So it was a very exciting day to meet them. I want to tell you a little bit more about how they spent that year. I'm Raquel Martinez. I'm the Vice President of Community and Product Development at Pursuit. The Pursuit Fellowship is an intensive 4-year journey focused on fueling the success of our fellows, but not only for giving out their certificate of completion and that's it. We are figuring out a way of helping fellows get their first job. That's the goal of the program, getting that first job. It's about helping them build careers in the long term. A little more than a year ago, we received more than 1,000 applications and for the 9.1 and 9.2 cohorts. Applicants completed an assessment, attended a Pursuit workshop where they work on teams with people they never met before. They were evaluated by some of our volunteers that are sitting in the room today. And also they completed an interview, a one-on-one interview with our volunteers as well. And in the end, we selected a phenomenal group of 28 fellows that are presenting the 9.2 class today. We selected individuals who embody the values of Pursuit. We believe that they will not only make exceptional developers, that they will be leaders, sitting in this room presenting or mentoring teams in the future. Over the last year, our fellows have completed a year of intensive immersion in the fundamentals of software development, industry fluency, and the leadership and personal development skills needed to become a professional software developer. As part of this process, they have spent the last 6 weeks building their capstone project. But their journey is far from over. Pursuit doesn't stop when these fellows complete this capstone project, or even when they present. It only even starts when they get that first job. We continue to work with them to provide additional 3 years of career support and career coaching so they can build long-lasting careers. As Caroline mentioned, we work closely with employers during this time as well. It's part of our model to create not only change in the tech industry itself, but also working with our employers to open opportunities to this very untapped talent. These reflect our deep commitment to giving our fellows not only the tools they need to succeed as developers, but also the tools they need to succeed in their careers and in their life. Our work wouldn't be possible, as I said before, without our community of exceptional volunteers who play a critical role in the success of our fellows and our program. They impart valuable technical advice and professional guidance from the admission process through the program. They impart all these critical advice so they can become successful in the tech industry. On behalf of the Pursuit community, the Pursuit team, I truly appreciate your support that the volunteers provide to our community. Thank you so, so much. We'd like to thank all of our Blackstone volunteers who have supported our mission over the years, in particular for their contribution. The BXCI team, as Caitlin mentioned, has been an incredible part of a partner of Pursuit, and we hope that continues in the future. And thank you especially to the dedicated mentors who provided critical guidance and feedback to our fellows for the Capstone project. Technical mentors that you see on the slide came to meet with their groups, help those groups navigate new technologies, set weekly goals so they could, get ready for today, and define the technical vision of their projects. And design mentors help them create beautiful forms to match the technical function of these Capstone projects. So let's give them a big round of applause. And finally, I'd like to give a warm thank you to all of our team instructors, Steve Zhang, Raz Ephraim, and Natasha Floyd, here in the slide, who have been working with our fellows for nearly a year to prepare them. Not only technical mastery, professional mastery, but also life mastery in and of itself. So thank you so much, instructors. And they will be introducing the teams as we start our capstone presentation. So,
Hello everyone, my name is Raz, and I had the absolute pleasure and honor to teach these fellows for the last year. Today we are all privileged to experience the results of a year-long journey with our 9.2 class. We will have the opportunity to experience what they have accomplished thus far by observing their team's demos. But before we do that, fellows, I just would like to say to you, I'm so proud of everything you achieved in the last year, and honored that I could take a part of that journey. Keep pushing forward, keep striving for the best, and don't forget to be who you are while you're doing that, because literally you're the best. And now, I'd like to pass the mic to Stephen, my co-instructor.
Thanks, Russ. Hey everyone, my name is Steven and I'm the other co-instructor for 9.2. And I'm part of an amazing team of instructors here at Pursuit that is privileged and proud to have seen our fellows push themselves throughout this journey, to have seen our fellows rely on and support each other in times of need, and to have truly seen the grit and determination it takes from our fellows to become successful software engineers. It's been monumental to see our fellows prove to themselves and to everyone around them that they're capable of accomplishing anything they put their minds to. So, and today we are all going to witness the fruits of their labor come full circle. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, so here's how today's demos are going to work. After a brief introduction from the instructors, myself and Raz, we're going to quickly give a quick introduction for each team, and then after that, we're going to pass the mics off to the teams themselves, who will provide some background information on themselves. After that, they'll have 7 minutes to present their demos of their applications, and then after that, they'll be handing the mics off to the panelists for a brief Q&A session. And then that'll be it. So, yeah, that'll be it. All right, but without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to pass it off to Raz to introduce our first group for tonight.
Thank you. Our first group has reimagined the way we connect and mobilize for meaningful change. With their passion for technology and community-driven initiatives, this group created an app dedicated to increasing engagement in hyper-local events and empowering local community leaders. Give it up to Happening!
We don't appreciate Roz and Steven trying to make us cry before we start.
Welcome and good evening, panelists. We are proud to introduce our event and advocacy app, Happen. Happen is about building a brighter future. As a peer advocate, I had the opportunity to change lives on an individual basis. But at the same time, I got to see how difficult it is for community organizers to organize. My name is Monique Correa, and as part of Team Happen, we worked diligently to make the tools industry leaders need to impact change on an individual basis.
Good evening. After discovering the Japanese concept called ikigai, which highlights the importance of finding purpose and fulfillment in one's work, I decided to pursue my dreams to become a full-stack developer. So when I learned about Bertune through a friend, I saw it as the perfect opportunity, and I was thrilled when I got into the program. Before that, I was a bartender for a few years and a retail assistant. My name is Bolat. I'm originally from Myanmar. I'm excited to be part of the industry and this wonderful team.
So I'll be honest, when I graduated from St. John's with a degree in film and TV, I certainly didn't fashion myself as a coder, much less a computer scientist. But having navigated from the world of media to now full stack web development, my journey has been one of transformation, and I think that's something that all of my fellow Pursuit members acknowledge and understand. For me though, it wasn't just about the prospects of securing employment, but joining the developer community as creators and builders. I wanted to leverage my skills to empower and uplift. And my name is James Scott, and as part of this incredible team, we created Happen, an app designed to shift how we plan, discover, and live stream community building and outreach events. So, it may come as no surprise that community advocates face a plethora of challenges when it comes to organizing and promoting. There's a real lack of real-time alerts. There's fragmented information that they first have to source through great effort. And lastly, there isn't a centralized platform.
And our solution was to create that centralized platform. A platform where advocates can see, hear, and write about what's currently happening on a mobile-friendly platform. Meet Eva, a community advocate on a mission. In the past, low event turnout risked her funding, but what happened, she was able to increase event visibility, inform people of what's going on in her community, and generate an emotional connection via streaming live video.
So let's take a look at how Ava would achieve that on our. So here's our index page. Give it a sec.
delay. Let's see, maybe it's
Regular kickoff.
let's see. Is it only on? Let's see, screen sharing is paused. We'll take a look and see. Bear with us.
You guys gotta go and work on that app that you're using right now for the screen sharing.
I don't know, so it should be on the browser. Yeah. So, it should be here. We're just sharing the slides.
This was the
Stop
first
sharing. Give us a second, we're gonna look at the browser.
A quick background. Primarily New York. It's primarily New York for the moment, but we plan to expand in the future to the rest of the.
So the rest of the state and the country if we can. So, as we were saying, we have our app, and this is our index page. We'll let Bo walk you through.
So Eva already has an account, and after the login, she will be taken to the home page. On the home page, the map detects her location automatically, and she can see the events happening around her area. Eva is primarily interested in the events for the veterans. So she can filter the events by clicking on the menu. She can click on the events if interested.
As you can see, we have a tear sheet that populates upon click. But let's say now that after Ava has familiarized herself with the application, she's interested in creating her own event. She can use our form that's created here, and she can list a cause, a title, description, category, address, date, time, and image to easily create an event, which will then populate on our map here. And look at that, we have Eva just created her event, the Veterans Affairs Healthcare Fund event. And what do we have here, Bo?
Yeah, it looks like someone has checked in already and gone live.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's check out the latest one.
I wonder who it is.
We can only imagine. I'm Ava here. Join room, and look at that. Our instructors. We can send them if we so chose to. We can send them if we can send them a thank you without reverb and feedback. Okay. So we have a chat functionality as well. We're going to end that for the sake of our use. So as a recap, we are allowing for end users to check in, attend, go live from events planned by our community advocate, who's our consumer. And for future implementations, we thought to.
We're adding organizations and groups, or better organizations and groups, so that would increase mobilization.
Yeah, we thought a hierarchical structure would be necessary in order for better rollouts.
And allow the users to stream to external platforms like YouTube and Twitch, and follow the organizers and share the events.
And lastly, metrics. Certainly, community advocates would appreciate KPIs, data, visualizations, and such. to measure performance of the events, which is likely mutually beneficial for both the advocate as well as our app and the fastest route towards monetization. So, thank you. Thank you. Special thanks to all of our mentors, Susan, Ross, Raymond, and we really appreciate everything you've done. We are available for questions.
First of all, great job responding to the technical weirdness that is the inevitable part of doing a presentation like this, but y'all handled it gracefully. I'm curious about the future features part of that, and were those ideas that kind of came up along the process, or were they kind of part of how you were thinking about it from the beginning, and how did you work as a team to?
No, we won't imagine to think that we had all the answers. We certainly didn't. It was trial and error, and then we started to see, okay, who would utilize this, and what would their needs be? And thinking from that perspective, we said, okay, if there's an organization, there's going to need to be an org chart of some sort, which will then allow for the restrictions or privileges, and us to do some other things.
How do you find the Evas of the world?
Well,
I don't need to answer that one.
yeah, part of it is that I work in peer advocacy, which means, well, specifically in the mental health field. So I'm an advocate for mental health. If there's anyone in the crowd that also does social work, you're getting the cost of living increase, by the way. You can say, but seriously, it's because I had firsthand. I experienced it firsthand. So there's a lot of difficulty when it comes to organizing events. Teams get lost, like literally lost, and part of that is where the idea came from.
Yeah.
Because another part is that it's hard to get teams, or rather entire organizations together. There used to be legislation days for mental health. There are over 5 large organizations in New York City, but at the last one, only around 100 people showed up. Why? Because it was hard for them to realize when each event happened. And without that cohesion, coalitions weaken and fall apart, and that lessens everyone's collective power.
I have a comment and then a question, and please don't blame Blackstone for it. I work across the street in the other building. So. One, I was sitting here thinking, great job, first of all. Sitting here thinking about the aspect of community and being in person and the power that brings. And then as I was sitting here, my question that was in my head was, well, how do you do that if you're creating, an app, you're taking away that, but you all did a beautiful job, I think, of combining technology, combining in-person experience in a really great way. So kudos to you for that. I have a different kind of question though. Talk to me about the team dynamic. What was that like for you all to brainstorm and arrive here?
Mo, you want to answer that? No? Fair enough. We're like pin and seven sometimes. We feed off each other. I would say that, building anything from scratch was challenging. It was daunting at first. It was, at first there was a lot of optimism, I would say, and then around week 3 we were like, how are we gonna do this? And then that slowly changed to, okay, we can put this together. We just focus on the next, solving the problem that's in front of us. And so it was challenging for time management too, because I think we all have lives, we all work, we all have a number of things going on in our lives independently. So that was a challenge for time management as well. So there was no shortage of challenges.
Next up, we've got a group of developers determined to generate positive impacts in their community by providing a platform to allow local small businesses to operate. But to avoid revealing the whole surprise here, I'll leave it to them to explore their product in greater detail. Give it up for Melanated Diamonds.
Welcome everyone. I would like to present to you our application, Melanated Diamonds. A year ago, I was focused on launching my painting business and exploring methods on how to establish it successfully. I recognized the importance of having a website that I could showcase and sell my paintings. So I began to look for suitable options. But while I was doing that, certain circumstances led me to go and seek shelter, which interrupted my process. That was when I discovered Pursue. They say when one door closes, another one opens. My name is Kendra Pell, and I'm a full stack web developer.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to start by saying that I am the living proof that where you start definitely does not determine where you end. I grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and although it was really tough, it prepared me for what my life had in store for me. I worked at TD Bank while pursuing a degree at Baruch, and it was during that time that everything in my life started to turn a bit. I found myself incredibly unhappy and decided that I wanted to pursue something that I was actually interested in, and that's what got me into Pursue. My name is Isaiah, and I've been a Pursue Fellow for the past year, and although it's been a long and challenging journey, it's been very rewarding, and thanks to Pursue, I'm now able to call myself a full stack web developer. So, I'm happy to see you all today, and I'll be even happier to share more of my story after, but for now, I just passed the mic to Wix.
So, like Kat, a year ago, I found myself in a shelter, uncertain of what the future held. Today, I stand before you a full stack web developer. Before embarking on this incredible journey at Pursue, I worked as a grocery stocker for Publix. And although it was my pleasure, due to having scoliosis, I realized it was time for me to return to my true passion, computers. Today, I am no longer building displays. Instead, I am building applications that have the potential to shape the future. My name is Wisdom Wright, and I take major pride in developing an API for this remarkable application. So what is Melanated Diamonds?
In a society where numerous communities undergo gentrification, there isn't enough room for Black businesses to thrive. These small enterprises are often overshadowed and face vital situations where they are constantly placed in the shadow, and their visibility and awareness are barriers that limit resources. In 2001, there were 48 Black-owned businesses, banks exactly. Now, it's approximately about 25. Constantly, the businesses are declining due to these situations. So how can our website solve these problems?
Okay, so we created Melanated Diamonds to showcase and promote Black-owned businesses. With our app, users can connect to local Black-owned small businesses and even post their business to our site if they are Black entrepreneurs themselves. This is our effort to combat the loss in popularity and existence in some cases due to gentrification and unawareness. We designed this app to be a safe space for producers and consumers of Black-owned products and services to connect, collaborate, and gain exposure. So let's see how it works.
So meet Marcus. He's a passionate advocate for Black-owned businesses. He's also a food lover. He heard about Melanated Diamonds from a friend and decided that he was going to use our website to see what restaurants was in his neighborhood. Not only that, but he's also the owner of a nightclub in downtown Manhattan called Onyx.
see how it works.
All right. So after signing in, Marcus will be brought to a page which renders a ton of Black-owned businesses. As Kat said earlier, before we get there, on the side, he has the option to filter by category, so he can see whatever best suits his needs. But Kat mentioned earlier that he's a foodie, so let's check restaurants. Okay, so after clicking on Divine Flavor Catering, he's brought to a page which gives more information about the individual business. The year is open, a brief description at the bottom, and its website. He also has the ability to see if he's actually interested and wants to visit the place, he can click on the location, which will take him to Google Maps, and all he would have to do is put in his address and receive the directions. And so now, assuming that Marcus has visited Divine Express Catering, he has a gourmet meal and decides that he wants to return, he'll come back to our site where he can mark it to his favorites. And if you check his user profile, the business will be stored. And we also mentioned that Marcus owns his own nightclub. So after receiving great service on our site, he decides that he wants us to host his business on our site as well. So he would just fill out this form, and in the end, when he goes back to the business section, it's now added to the page. So that'll be all for the demo.
So you may be wondering what's next for Melanated Diamonds. Well, we intend to implement a way for users to be able to search businesses by location. This will provide easier access for users that are worldwide. We also want to collaborate with these businesses and offer discounts for users that find a business through our app. And furthermore, we want to add a feature to show upcoming events so these businesses can help their communities thrive. And with that, we want to thank you for your time, and we will now be taking any questions.
Really inspiring, guys.
Thank you.
I'm curious, you had a lot of data on the page. Are you pulling in data on these businesses from any external sources, or is it all generated in the app?
That is all generated from our backend, which is hosted on Render. We did not find an API for Black-owned businesses, so it was up to us to create it.
Come on, that's the job.
How do you get the word out to small businesses about?
I'll let you finish.
No.
Oh, okay. So, a lot of it will be footwork, but we could use social media platforms that we have, and we'll just make one specifically for our site where we can, send messages out to small businesses, because a lot of small businesses, they do have Instagram, Facebook. That's where they're starting up. They're not, really publicly known like that. So that would be the best way for us to get it out there into the world.
But just to be clear, you're not spending money on Facebook or Instagram?
No, we will be doing the footwork by, at least in the beginning, until we could generate enough revenue.
What's something that you all learned from each other through the process of making this together and building this together?
Definitely time management. I feel like oftentimes it was hard to collaborate with everybody on different schedules, but we managed to make it work.
What's one thing that the three of you are most proud of related to finding the problem and then coming up with a solution?
So in the ideation phase of this project, this idea it came to us and we all agreed, because we all had different ideas at first, but by day 2, this was something that we all agreed about and we all were passionate about. And I guess it's the time to give flowers to Wiz, because we looked high and low, we couldn't find any Black-owned businesses API specifically, and gotta give the credit to Wiz. Wiz did the work, found tons and tons of businesses. So just coming together and creating this was like everything, honestly.
Definitely amazing.
Yep.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Melanated Diamonds. Many of us, especially in the tech community, have faced the problem our next group aims to solve. A problem they're going to face very soon. How do I, as a new developer, gain experience to land my first major role? With no further ado, Dev Impact, come and tell us how you're going to do it.
Connecting coders.
Empowering causes.
Impacting communities.
We are
Dev Impact.
How many of you have ever volunteered and found it to be a really rewarding experience? Well, I have too. And my passion for software engineering started in this way. It started when I met a chemical engineer who was working on China's water pollution problem, and the idea of engineering solutions to solve real-world issues was fascinating to me. When I was first introduced to the Python programming language, the possibilities felt endless, and I knew I wanted a career writing software. My name is Isaac Guerrero, and my plan is to combine my passions for sustainability and technology to build a better world.
A former automotive technician for Geek Squad. Now, I'm a proud full-stack web developer. I stand before you today after facing the depths of tutorial hell. Like many, I embarked my journey through a Udemy course that I received an ad that said, I have 24 hours for this limited time offer would expire. I quickly pulled out my credit card and began my journey. However, as I immersed myself in endless video tutorials, I realized I needed a more in-class experience to propel me forward. Growing frustrated, I recognized this need for a different learning experience. And that's when I found Pursuit, the Pursuit Fellowship. Through their program, I underwent a transformative journey. My name is Anthony Taylor, and I am now a full-stack web developer equipped with the skills to make a difference.
As an immigrant from Venezuela, I have been supported by several non-profit organizations along my journey. As a professional that already have a degree in petroleum engineer, I understand how difficult it is to get our first real job experience. My name is Daniel Solaker, and create an application that helps non-profit organizations while new developers can get their first experience is something that I owe to myself and to this society.
And now the problem, as Daniel just alluded to. On the nonprofit side, some early nonprofits lack tech and financial resources and struggle to gain visibility for their cause. On the developer side, early career coders lack work experience and have trouble finding their first role. How many of you have applied for an entry-level position but seen that they require 3 to 5 years of experience? Well, we know that all too well. And on the senior developer side, some may need team building and management skills if they want to get that promotion, or they just want to give back to their community.
Now let's see how Dev Impact can help solve these three issues.
The solution? We believe in connecting coders, empowering causes, and impacting communities. Introducing Dev Impact, a platform where nonprofits can submit their web development needs as proposals, and a team of volunteer junior developers led by a mentor can respond. While mentors get to enhance their leadership capabilities, our mentees will also get the opportunity to work on comprehensive projects to develop and improve their overall portfolio. This allows less experienced developers the freedom to apply their new talents to real-world problems with a mentor they can call upon for guidance. Now, let's see how one of our potential users could utilize our platform, Dev Impact.
Meet Kendra from Harlem Roots. She wants to increase awareness and support through a web solution, but she has limited financial resources. She needs tech professionals in their organization, and let's see how can she use our application, Dev Impact.
So Kendra will navigate to the Dev Impact website, and as a nonprofit, she will click on the For Nonprofits tab, let's see how Kendra will get started. She is greeted with a proposals form where she can detail what exactly web solution she needs, and also the impact that this will have on the community, so she can entice mentors to then lead this project. Kendra has already filled out this information, which you can see in the For Developers Mentors form, which has a list of proposals from each nonprofit. Let's see a little bit more about the mentor user flow.
Meet Sophia. She is a senior developer from Amazon. She wants to leadership experience, and her role is to get into management roles. So let's see how Sophia used the impact to get that experience.
Sophia is a mentor, so she would direct herself to the For Developers menu tab and hit that Mentors button. A list of proposals already submitted by nonprofits appear on the screen. Sophia can now choose the proposal that she most connects with and decides to approve the nonprofit Harlem Roots proposal, making her the leader for this project. She gets directed to the next step and fills out a technical project form, which outlines all of the requirements she believes is needed to complete this project. Input fields include an estimated date of completion and how many junior developers are required for the task, to name a few. Once filled out, the technical project form will create a new available project on our projects list where junior developers can read about and decide to join. Sophia's form has already been submitted on our behalf, so let's proceed and see how a junior developer can use our platform, Dev Impact.
Meet Anna. She is a graduated Pursuit Fellow, but she lacks work experience. She wants to make a difference with her new skills. I decided to join to Dev Impact. So let's see how Anna can use our application to find her first experience.
Thank you, Daniel. So Anna will now navigate to the Mentees tab, where she will see a list of projects already being mentored that she can join. So as a graduated Pursuit Fellow, let's say she wants to increase her React skills, she can use our filter to see the projects that she can join, and perfect, she's found one that not only will help her improve her React skills, but also aligns with her core values. And she decides to join this project. Now, Anna is one step closer to getting her first tech role. Let's see a little bit more about our impact.
In the end of the day, Anna lands her first real-world project, gaining more experience and also visibility among companies. On the other hand, Sophia developed management skills that allow her to contribute to her personal startup. And finally, Kendra's nonprofit organization saw new growth, gaining more engagement in their web page and also gaining audience. Now, my fellow Tony gonna show us our future features.
Here are some core features in our pipeline we will implement in the near future, which we believe will help the overall user experience. A built-in messaging system to facilitate seamless communication between all parties involved. A matching algorithm that will revolutionize how we pair talent with purpose, connecting developers and nonprofits with precision. And lastly, going beyond expectations by expanding our services to things like graphic design, user experience, and website audits. This ensures a comprehensive tech support system for nonprofits everywhere. Together, we will redefine what it means to connect, collaborate, and make a lasting impact. A dev impact. Now we'll please answer your questions.
Thank you. So I'll project. My mother was a teacher, so I should do a job. Great job. Awesome. I come from the nonprofit space, so this hit in a different way for me. My question, though, is thinking about, we all know how important managers are. And so, in I think Sophia's case, in looking for that management experience, how did you all think about, or did you talk about what kinds of support Sophia may need to be able to successfully work with a team to gain those skills that she's looking for, but also to help them gain the experience that they're looking for?
That's a great question. And what's funny, our app went through many different iterations. At first, we just had developers and nonprofits, and the same question came up about how do new developers get that mentorship experience? So then we were like, let's add mentors. So we were thinking for mentors, once we build a community, we'll have mentors that have a lot of experience and then can help one another with that future feature of a built-in communication system. So we're really building a community rather than just an application.
Just to add on to that, we also consider as one of our iterations that we didn't get to use, but would be a stretch feature in the future would be to allow mentees the opportunity when they reach a certain quota of projects to fill to our application to be given the opportunity to upgrade their membership to be a mentor as well. So they would be very experienced, already happy.
Really attractive product, guys. Great work with several different users and a lot of complicated interactions, so congrats on that. I'm curious why the focus on nonprofits when I think there's a lot to gain if you have a company like Amazon or any of the large tech companies, you know, for people like Pursuit graduates to maybe put on their resume that they did a project for one of those groups.
I can start. So we really want to focus first on a niche community. That's definitely one of our future features to expand not just for nonprofits, but tech help for any organization. So that's a great point. Thank you.
Yes, one of the future features is amplify our voice, our that impact platform to not only nonprofit organizations, if not, but all kind of organizations in the end. You know, we guess that by inspirations, we just decided initially work with nonprofit organizations because all of us have been benefited by those nonprofits. But in the end, we would like to amplify our range of options.
What are some of the challenges that arise when teams like the ones that you're putting together try to collaborate on solving a problem for an organization, right? So the organization needs the thing done quickly, but these people are volunteers, you know, Sophia is working at Amazon, that's her day job, that pays her bills. You know, then Sophia is doing this, the team of volunteers, what if not everyone is pulling their weight and whatnot? Just to solve that kind of problem, is it a is it a technology thing that you create to solve that coordination problem, or is that something where it's more about the community and alignment of incentives within the members of the community? I don't know if you've thought about that, and if if this is too way out there.
No, we've thought a lot about this actually because we were building an application, we want it to actually work. So definitely the latter in terms of the community aspect and building those internal checks so that if a project is behind that, there's like management that can then step in and help. If a mentor needs to take some time off, that there's another mentor that can help take their place.
Also to add on to that, there are many features that we wanted to implement. They just didn't have the time to do it. So there was a lot of user stories, so creating the backend database and tables and graphs and everything. But
maybe ratings.
Yes, definitely. What we're thinking of doing is like a carousel of profile cards, where both mentors and new developers are displayed, and there will be a skills button where we'll project all of their skills, and that will be part of their profile experience. Once they create their initial profile, specifically for developers, they would get a second form where they would fill out their skills and add things like their GitHub and then.
Yeah, finally, we didn't calculate what complicated could be handle 3 kind of users. In terms of the front end, it's also pretty hard. But yeah, definitely it's our future feature.
It seems like you all are if the problem that you're solving here is something that probably is very fresh and kind of real for all of you, and you seem very united on that. I'm curious if there were any moments in working together where you weren't on the same page or there was friction around.
100%.
Yeah.
As a team, we worked together and we did the best we could as a team, and we still plan to work together and continuing future iterations and versions of this project because we all, as we said, have a close heart to it and we put in a lot of passion and work. So yes, it was difficult, but we made it through and here we go.
So next up, we've got a group here addressing one of the major issues facing society today. The issue of disengagement from one's local community has caused a loneliness epidemic that's been nationally recognized. So let's see how Social Circle attempts to deal with this issue.
Let's go, guys.
Hello everyone, we're Team Social Circle, and with our app we hope to address introversion and the feeling of being new to a community. I'm Yusuf Muhammad Farouk, and I'm a first-generation college graduate with a background in clinical psychology. Much of my undergraduate work was spent analyzing the interaction and detriments of technology on mental health. With Social Circle, I not only wanted to approach software development through the lens of clinical psychology, but to create a platform whose purpose is to improve the lives and mental health of its users.
Like Yusuf, I'm also a first-generation college graduate with a background in psychology and an interest in mental health. My studies highlighted the connection between relationships and mental well-being. My name is Carlos Mendoza, and with Social Circle, we hope to make it easier for people to find joy through personal connections, exploration, and maintaining healthy routines.
As a music producer myself and full stack engineer, I have a background in teaching. Working with different age groups, you learn to kind of get a better understanding of different cultures, mannerisms, and experiences in the world. Through the Pursuit Fellowship, my goal is to make music technology more accessible, beginner-friendly, and just make it easier for users to interact with if they've never experienced music technology before. And with Social Circle, my aim was to break boundaries and make event creation more convenient for those who have a difficulty building meaningful communities.
And building meaningful communities is the problem that we're trying to address. With interpersonal communication increasingly occurring digitally, it's becoming more and more difficult to establish meaningful face-to-face connections with other people.
And what we want to focus on is the issue with building those connections. It can be very overwhelming for individuals who may consider themselves to be introverts or new to a certain community. The quest to find your tribe, so to say, can be very difficult, and that difficulty prevents users from getting outside of their comfort zone.
The solution. Social Circle strives to motivate users to attend thriving events and break out of their comfort zones. Through event categorization, interactive chat, maps, and gamification, our platform creates an environment for users to enhance new opportunities. We dedicated ourselves to creating an inclusive community of like-minded people that are interested in getting out of their comfort zones. Gamification will be incentives for users to engage with the app and for attending events and meeting new people.
Take, for example, Carlos. A software developer looking to showcase his latest app to fellow junior developers and established industry professionals. Carlos represents the average user we had in mind when creating Social Circle. Someone who's looking to expand their network and find individuals with similar passions for the hobbies that interest them. And now, a demo of our application.
So Carlos, when he reaches the Social Circle website, is prompted to sign up for an account, but Carlos has an account already, so he's going to sign in. We just don't need anyone to memorize his login information. So when Carlos gets to the dashboard, he finds a wide array of events for him to choose from, so he's going to just look around and see if there's anything that interests him. So Carlos' friends told him about the upcoming demo day, so he's going to navigate to the search bar on the left side of the screen and look it up. He finds the demo day, so he's going to go to the map view to get some better information about the event that's coming up.
While RSVPing and commenting on the event, Carlos notices that I'm also attending. So Carlos is going to go ahead and leave a comment for me to view. And I'm currently logged in on my phone. So after navigating to the event on my phone, I can now see Carlos's comments. Carlos clicks on my profile to get a better view and sees that we aren't friends yet. So he goes ahead and takes the opportunity to add me as a friend. Carlos then decides to send me a direct message to let me know that he's coming to the event. And I'm going to go ahead and reply to Carlos. I'm also going to drop him a pin to my current location and also send him a voice message asking when he's going to attend. Hey Carlos, what time do you think you're going to get here? Go ahead and send that message. And the audio might not be great because we only have the speakers on the laptop, but if he plays it back, hey Carlos, what time do you think you're going to get here? While messaging me, Carlos notices that his profile picture is a default generated icon, so he takes the opportunity to try and navigate to his profile after responding to my message because he's a good friend. So he navigates to his profile, he clicks edit, and takes the opportunity to customize his profile. Carlos first starts off by uploading a custom picture. I hope there's nothing sensitive on this laptop.
Won't leak anything, don't worry.
Apologies to whoever's picture that is, but here now Carlos's profile picture. So he's going to go ahead and save that and add a brief but descriptive bio about himself. Carlos is going to go ahead and save his changes. And upon saving his changes, he's directed to a more detailed profile view, which reflects the changes he's made. There's his bio. And Carlos also notices a badges tab. Carlos clicks on the badges tab and notices 2 badges that he's earned so far. One for creating an account with Social Circle and one for editing his profile. These are a part of the incentivism, the gamification features that are meant to incentivize users to interact with the site and one another.
Now that I'm joining events, I'm slowly becoming a part of a community and becoming and building a circle of friends that I can relate with and I can connect with. However, what if I move to a different state, or what if I move to another country? Social Circle plans to expand its reach throughout the U.S. and eventually to other countries, so people can use it as a resource anytime, anywhere. Other implementations we'd like to add is live group chat. So rather than just being one-on-one chat, a user can expand their circle, adding more people to that particular group, and they can pretty much share the same interests and events. Another would be further integration with gamification. So a point system and extra badges that would incentivize the user to use the application as well as attend other events and make more friendships. And lastly, seasonal and annual events. We'd like to partner with local government groups and to get their local events, thus getting users to become more a part of their local communities.
We hope that someday soon in the future, you will all use Social Circle to expand yours. Thank you. We will now be taking questions.
How can I get an orange t-shirt?
We have
actually have an extra one.
Yeah, we have a spare.
You trade your hat, I'll give you mine.
I'm trying to match with that.
Wonderful presentation, guys. I thought the problem was very well stated. And you also have a great deal of functionality, including showing people statuses, uploading images, uploading sound. I'm curious, what were the biggest technical challenges and what kind of tools you used to accomplish those?
Well, interesting that you mentioned technical challenges. Everything that could go wrong kind of did go wrong. I'd say the biggest technical challenge we had was working on our backend. So user authentication is a third party that we're using. But everything sensitive that users have on their profile, such as their interests, their level of introversion or extroversion, is stored on our own personal database. So trying to coordinate syncing a third-party database for storing user credentials with our own personal database of the information that's used to populate the page was the biggest challenge. So much so that literally yesterday, our database provider, Fly.io, kind of went down. So it was a lot of troubleshooting and making sure both the user auth database and our personal database were like coordinated, and it was, I had a full head of hair before I started. Back-end work was the biggest difficulty.
And where are you storing the sound?
The sound is actually the entire chat functionality is a very neat package that we found that works just out of the box with React. So it's the users that are, since it's peer-to-peer, all of the user information comes from our backend, which is used to create a session in that package that we're using. So yeah, it was just sort of like plug and play, and again, trying to coordinate 2 databases, a bunch of extra packages. Yeah, it was a lot of legwork.
Well done.
Thank you.
Really great job. Thank you for the presentation. You started off by talking about loneliness, and we all have seen studies, especially post-COVID, how loneliness is something that's affecting so many people. How did you come to arrive at loneliness and building an app around that?
So initially it was supposed to be a traveling application, but it eventually transitioned to being something that could be used by anyone, like a social platform, to communicate with one another and to eventually get people to come outside. As honestly, I think I can speak for a lot of people in pursuit that there are a lot of introverts. So the idea was eventually to, I guess that relationship just brought up an application such as this, and us wanting to make that change and get introverts becoming maybe a little bit more of an extrovert. And I guess the idea kind of took off from there. We all threw in like a little bit of ourselves and gamification. We both actually have experience with Insight, so I think that also helped.
And like Carlos mentioned, the clinical psychology was honestly like the biggest motivator for me to explore this issue, because it's a combination of my interest with tech, with my professional interests. I remember in college, I did a research paper on emotional contagion via social networks. So Facebook conducted a study on over 600,000 people, and they found that negative emotions are transmitted through a network similar to disease. So when we were sort of ideating on like how we wanted to pivot away from just a traditional like travel application to something more meaningful for the community, that sort of was stuck in the back of my mind, where what if instead of propagating negative emotion, we propagate something better, something more beneficial to a community. So definitely.
Focusing on what you were saying before about the post-COVID, I think it's very important considering how people kind of spent less time interacting with one another. And like Yusuf was saying, it's sort of like the idea that everything that we interact with impacts our emotions. Even through the process with Raquel, focusing on the colors is also specific that we chose for the website to kind of go with growth and friendliness and kind of this upbeat energy to kind of encourage users to be more one another with each other and kind of get outside of that comfort zone. I know it can be very difficult after all of the events that have occurred, but just kind of taking an opportunity and a chance, and hopefully users will take that chance with us.
There were so many different features and kind of functions in what you built. And one thing I'm curious about is, did you ever debate about including all of those things, at start, or versus starting more simple? You're smiling already. Tell me about it. Yeah.
Who wants to take this one?
I think the big thing was like, we started with a wireframe, just kind of like a general idea of the website. And I think like it was probably like a week that went by where we just were like looking at it like, well, now what? Like it's just, we just had like an idea that we wanted users to interact with each other, but didn't know how to kind of make those motions happen. We had a meeting with Peloton, and they talked about how their process is with like having leaderboards, and I think they're like the pinnacle of the idea of incentivizing users to have different activity. So when we talked about the badges feature, they were like, well, we just started on that. Like we didn't even get a chance to really, so I think being able to express ourselves kind of individually, there's a little piece of all of us inside of it, from the profiles to the badges to the map view to the chat. it kind of became this synonymous idea where just like our logo, which is a bunch of people holding hands, we kind of had that passion to kind of connect our thoughts together, and it just became this.
Not to like deflate a very like profound emotional beat, but it was very much like the social network where like they're sitting around a table and just like pitching everything. We had a laundry list of features that we wanted to do, but unlike the social network, as soon as we had that laundry list, we were like, okay, we don't know how to do any of this. So it was starting off with a lofty list of ideas, and then sort of whittling it down to what can we get to work for an MVP. But that laundry list isn't going anywhere. We have plans to keep iterating on this program. Thank you.
Thank you, Social Circle. Our last group, wow, explored the hottest technology in the field right now, AI. They created an app that harnesses the power of artificial intelligence to revolutionize the way we read, study, and process written information. Let's go, Binary Mind!
Yeah, the technical difficulties we all have, so we need a little bit step up. Yeah, we need help, so. Okay. Yeah.
So ever wished your books or documents had a Siri to answer all your burning questions?
Yeah.
Well, wish no more. Binary Mind is reality. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Gene Napoleon. I am a first-generation Haitian American from Queens. Tech has been a passion of mine for many years. I've always wanted to build grand applications that will improve people's lives or fundamentally change their lives. Circumstances never permitted me to follow my true goals. But now I have the opportunity to make a positive difference in people's lives as a full stack app developer.
For myself, being a part of a team and building an application that promotes reading literacy and comprehension has expanded my belief on what's possible as a developer. It has fueled my passion to continue pursuing STEM education and my desire to create a good impact in tech. My name is Karen Easton, and I am honored to be here and a part of this experience.
So my role is both a collegiate and high school soccer coach, as well as a high school teacher. Typically has me going from signing contracts, we all know how burdensome that can be when you're signing legal documents, to reading textbooks in the classroom. In addition to the soft skills I've acquired, like patience in the classroom, to learning from losses on the soccer field, being part of pursuits has given me the vision and drive to solve the day-to-day nuances we all encounter as adults. while implementing the skills I've acquired into creating an app such as ours. My name is Tobichukwu Obi.
Yeah, I'm still in the inside of technical difficulties. And having migrated to the US about 6 years ago, my previous career, I have consistently sought ways to build up on extensive background and knowledge of computers. And software engineer, just a part of it. And I wish to continue my career in the US. That's why I joined to pursue my dream. My name is Hector. It's an honor and privilege to present our project today.
What does Hector's quotation, what does it say? What does the quotation say?
Yeah, this one is addressing to the imposter syndrome. You know it, you know it. You don't know it, you don't know it.
So, have you ever wanted to have like quick answers to one or two questions when going through a stack of dated field documents? I'm sure we've all experienced that. The way we interact and read any piece of literature nowadays can be very inefficient as well as outdated. You can find it takes a lot of time looking for a specific piece of information, which could feel like looking for a needle in a haystack. Example, privacy policies, terms, on instructions in the manual. That comes with legal documents, equipment manual, or financial reports.
Yeah, our solution is binary mind. Let's use AI to read the document and answer any question you might have, and much more.
Yeah, so meet Samantha. She's not a tech enthusiast. She's a sports enthusiast who strives to maintain a healthy work and life balance. She enjoys watching sports at bars a lot. And tonight she has an issue. So she ordered a TV off of a site called Temu. And and the manual is not in English. So she has to figure out how to solve this problem. And she turns to her wonderful app.
So Samantha discovers binary mind. Upon arrival, she is met with a prominent upload button. She uploads the manual, user manual PDF and waits a few seconds. Anything from a 3-page pamphlet to an entire book will get scanned and stored in seconds. She is promptly directed to the reading assistant's comprehension page. When she encounters sentences, words, or even paragraphs she doesn't understand, she simply highlights the pertinent text and selects Expand to Text. This functionality will decipher and clarify the highlighted text and give you context, like a teacher guiding a student.
Seems AI is just as slow as we are.
While we're waiting, we're going to see that Samantha is able to use both sides of the app. There's two parts. There's a reading assistant side, and there's a side for comprehension, where she can ask questions about the text pertaining to her language. If she wants certain output in a different language for her, she can do that as well. Are we good to go?
Actually, here you will be showing the response text, but the network is disconnected, so just imagine.
Well, we came a little prepared because we have a few loaded images here. As you can see, you can highlight a certain text. In this case, what we highlighted was a USB cable, something like that, and hence we have an image on the comprehension page.
basically what we want to demonstrate here is like you ask a question in any language, you give back in that language. For example, you ask in Chinese, you give back in Chinese. The question will be drawn from the documents.
Yeah, there are two main sides to this website. On the left side is the reading assistance page. Like I mentioned before, you simply select the pertinent text. If you want clarification, you select text to expand. And like I said, it's gonna be like a teacher guiding you. It's not just a sentence or a word. You can literally highlight whole paragraphs. And it deciphers everything and gives you context to what it said. Sorry. Another feature is text to image. Once again, you highlight the text in question. You select text to image, and it will give you visual aid and better understanding of what that word is or what that noun is. On the right-hand side is the reading comprehension page. Now, this would be like your personal tutor. You can ask any question pertaining to the text, the uploaded text on the left. And on the top, as you can see, you have 3 different aptitude levels. You have easy, medium, and advanced. That way you can curate your experience, to different users. For example, if it's a child reading a children's book, they'll select easy. And the responses will be like a kindergarten teacher guiding them through each page. If you're a doctor and you have an important thesis, that can get uploaded as well. And when you select advanced, the AI will talk to you in doctor jargon. So it curates the experience to the level you want and the complexity you want. And all responses, all queries and their respective responses gets displayed on the right-hand side. So that's questions asked on the comprehension page as well as highlighted queries from the assistance page. It all gets displayed right here. And you can see the recent tabs. So all uploaded files get saved. You have your own profile. You can go back to it, pick up where you left off. Everything that you inquire about gets stored. So when you revisit that particular document or file, everything's gonna remain, and you can just pick up where you left off. So yeah.
So those are all very important features that can definitely simplify some of the challenges we face at adulting. And now for some future features we plan to integrate into our app.
Yeah, about the future features, we have 4. So first one, we by switch to a more efficient model, we can facilitate a larger text file, leading to a more accurate answer. And also we're going to support more file type, for example, pictures. And the second one is data security. I think most company, including Blackstone, value the protection of sensitive information by implementing an offline model to minimize the potential data leak. And the third one, to allow the user share their documents and check histories. The 4, accessibility. So basically, it allows user to ask questions by their voice.
Yes. Thank you for giving us your time. I'm sorry about the difficulty. It works, I promise. But thank you for your time, and we'll open the floor for questions.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you arrived at this particular problem to focus on solving.
So I can start off with saying this was our initial app idea. We initially were coming with something not as cool as this, but pretty much in the same level. And long story short, we thought about all that we require, that would go into building such an app, and we found it to be a bit daunting. So we decided to go with another idea. I think we're in like week 2 when we decided to go with another idea, and Hector came up with this.
Yeah. Initially, we were gonna go in a completely different direction. We actually voted for Tony's idea, which was an app which would help you find parking spots. Right? And I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. We're gonna change the world. When we sat down and started talking about it and thinking about it, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? How are we gonna get this done? Like, I mean, it's feasible, but it would be too much, user driven. You know what I mean? Like people driven. We didn't want to get into all that. We actually we knew about Hector's idea, but just the way he explained it, we didn't really understand the full potential and how significant this could be. So, like when we first began, it was simply going to be a chat box. You upload the text and you just ask the question. But I'm like, wait a minute, do you know what this is? So we started talking about highlighting text. We actually had a bunch of functionalities that we actually scraped. Like, we don't have time to talk about it. Not really. So this is like the bare bones that we're looking at. But there's so much in the back end. Like, we really built so much because we just got carried away. Like, this is a very useful app. Like, it could really change your life. You know what I mean? So yeah, what was the question?
I think Hector can give a little insight into how he came up with this idea as well.
Yeah. What will the question is?
How did we come up with this idea?
The problem to solve.
The idea is like because the AI is like a few months ago they have everywhere. So I look at the documents. I think this one is doable. So I have a prototype in Python, but our project is on Node.js. So it's I translate to Node.js and the idea is like AI go with the trend.
Can you guys talk a little bit about the libraries you integrated with to make this happen?
The technique is called, the library is OpenAI API. So the technique is called text embedding. So text embedding, basically you have, let's say you have a PDF. So we have maybe 100 pages, 200 pages. And ChatGPT only allow you to import 400,000 original, 4,000 tokens in a row. Right now they upgrade to the 16,000, but still, for a book, it's not enough. So basically, text embedding is cut down this big chunk of text to small pieces, and we proceed it in our backend, and we pick the relatedness part of the text and send it to the ChatGPT.
And how about the text to image? Is it through the same OpenAI libraries?
DALL-E. Yeah. About that, I mean, DALL-E is cool and all, but I don't think it quite, suits, our website because we want true to life images, not AI's conception of what something might look like. Like the generations are often too conceptual, too artsy. So if you want to see a picture of a brain, it should be an actual brain. You know what I mean? Or the text should be actual text, not conceptual things. So moving forward, we will change the text, the text to image to, BART is something different because DALL-E is not really useful for what we're trying to do.
Could you not solve that with the prompt to say, take it from a manual, take it from a Samsung, take an image?
Yeah, that's what we
Samsung
did
manual?
for this demonstration. Hector actually went to the back end and did something like this so we can get more true to life pictures. But I don't want to do all of that. I just want, like, BART would be incredible. BART would be really good.
Before we take any more questions, our group here is going to make one more attempt at.
We want to give our program a shot, another shot. Yeah.
So guess what? Our site is live on So I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna query our AI, and I'll ask the AI to give us the answer in a specific language. Let's see.
I slammed it. Something crazy.
I'm not the fastest typer. Bear with me.
It's okay. Not.
All right. So I just asked you to give me the response in Spanish.
Come on,
Fingers
man.
crossed. Fingers crossed.
So basically, I asked it, can you explain the universal remote feature? Because there's a TV model, and I asked it to give me in Spanish, and that's what it did.
Can you explain it in Yoruba?
Yoruba? Oh, you're Nigerian.
Okay.
Good to know. I'm Igbo.
What's he doing? Explain it in Igbo.
Oh, yes.
All right, let's see. Let's just say ChatGPT will probably have to expand its Any questions? Thank you very much.
Oh, no, just put it on the table.
That was certainly worth the wait. And I really want to commend all the teams. They, I think, tried something really challenging. And I think that's really, really admirable. It's really, really courageous. And also they made it happen. When I first saw this app, my mind was kind of blown. So thank you so much for everyone. So that's the last of our amazing demos. Now I would love to change the slide. There we go. Oh. And invite our panelists onto a stage that we will create here to share some of their thoughts on the apps that they saw here, and also provide personal advice to our developers as they begin their careers in technology, because tonight not only marks the end of the capstone project, but it also marks the start of the process to get their first job in tech. And over many months, our teams will be working with our fellows and partner companies to help them find jobs and launch their careers. And this next phase is going to be very exciting and intense, as many of our alumni fellows are here in the audience know. And I'd love to ask the panelists to just share a little bit about their journey to technology, and also provide some advice and share, how to have a successful career in tech.
I just want to say I'm so impressed to the point of feeling emotional almost for you all, because I can just feel the amount of energy and effort and grit that went into the journey that you all have been on. So just hats off. It comes through in how you're presenting, and it's just very, very impressive to see. So bravo to you all on that. I think one of the things that stood out to me, and you heard me probably asking a lot of questions about this, because I am not a technical background person. I am blessed to work with many brilliant technical people, but I'm a people person at the core. And no matter how great your technical skills are, at the end of the day, most of the time, you have to work together with different people in a group, different types of brains and different types of thinkers to solve problems and to be successful and to really build things that work. So that's why I was poking at those questions for you all, and it was great to hear kind of how you came through, challenges and how you got aligned and came together to make it happen. So that's beautiful to hear. I think in terms of just advice or things to think about as you are moving into your next chapter, I'll give you some bad news, I'll give you some good news, and I'll give you a little secret. The stage that you've all been in and learning and trying and testing new things, that can feel super uncomfy. The standing up in front of people, God forbid having to type while people are looking at you with their eyes, scary. The bad news is that those feelings oftentimes do not really go away in your career. You'll keep feeling that as you progress through things and as you take on new challenges. The good news, though, is that means that you're in a space where you're learning and you're growing, and that kind of discomfort zone is where real growth happens and real learning happens. And so when that goes away, it might mean you need to push yourself or stretch a little bit more. So the bad news, the good news, the secret that I want you to know too is I'm trained as a coach as well. I work with senior leaders and CEOs. They experience that as well. And I think one of the things I've noticed that makes the difference between people who are really successful and build kind of long-term successful careers is that they embrace that discomfort and they approach it with from a place of curiosity. And just remembering that every experience can be a learning experience. You can learn from the people around you, up, down, and sideways, and that you also have something to offer the people around you. So little things to tuck in the back of your mind as you head into the next phase of your journeys and land amazing jobs and do amazing things going forward.
Similar to Maureen, I'm a people person, and I just want to say this: being in this room, thank you for letting us be here to experience this moment with you. I don't take those moments for granted. Like I mentioned before, I come from a nonprofit background. I worked for an organization that focused on college access, and so we were constantly working with high school students. I also worked with military veterans, and was always so appreciative of being in the space, of them welcoming me into the space and sharing their stories. So many of you grew up here sharing things that are very personal to you all, and you let us say, I know your loved ones are here, but your strangers are also here. And for you to share your journey with us is special, it's really special, so thank you. Thank you first and foremost. And like Maureen mentioned as well, my questions were sometimes about the team aspect, because my advice to you is always find your team. Always find those people, those who are around you, who can push you, who can challenge you, who can, be a shoulder for you to cry on, whatever that means for you, whatever space you're in, especially your professional spaces. We live in this capitalistic society. I work for Blackstone. We often are told so often that we're doing these things by ourselves, that you have to, chart your own path and do this in the individualism aspect of it all. But I've never found that to be true. I've always had people, as my family, friends, whatever it is, behind me, in front of me, to the side of me. So don't lose that beyond this point. I know many of you talk about we have still work to do. We have the next phase of this, the next iteration. Keep going. Keep that in mind. When you land those jobs, think about that. I know, talking about community. These strangers here too were not part of your community. I know one of you already reached out to me. We're connected on LinkedIn. You don't think that was stand up? Yeah, I appreciate it. He reached out and said, "You're gonna be in the panel." Yeah. I wanted you're gonna hear from me later. I appreciated that. We're all part of your network now, so lean on us too. And congratulations again. It's amazing. Thank you.
I too, like many of you all, feel very honored and lucky to be here. So thank you so much for having me, for being a small part of what you all are doing. I think it's certainly true that where you start is not where you end. So thank you guys. It's really beautiful. In terms of some practical advice, I do think that there are very many resources out there to help you with technical interviews. I think those are wonderful to employ. I myself, as you guys have already demonstrated with the projects you're working on, the best way to learn the program is to write tools for yourself, write things where you're the user. That's if you do that, you'll be staying up all night trying to figure out how to get these problems right and to fix it because you want to be the user, you want it to work so you can do it. And I saw the semblance of that in the projects already, so that's really inspirational as well. But if you do that, then it'll feel easy. If you're not able to do that, I think regretfully it'll feel very hard. But good luck on this next step, guys. I think it's so courageous that you guys did this on nights and weekends.
Congratulations. This was amazing. I'm not very good at giving advice, mostly because I don't like to listen to advice myself. I don't like listening to advice. So what should I say? I think what you've done is incredible. It's inspiring. Everyone has said that already. But I think as far as you might think you've come, right? As much as you might feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I've accomplished this. I think what I would like you to remember is that this is just the beginning, and you are capable of much, much, much more. And like Maureen said, like Marcus said, like James said, look for the resources, surround yourselves with people who are supportive of you, who buy into what you want to do, and who buy into your dreams. Maureen said, embrace learning, embrace uncertainty, learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, learn not to run away from possible failure, learn to take risks, intelligent risks. And I think the last thing I leave you with, which is a mantra of mine, and just for a bit of background, I haven't lived with my parents since I was 12. I used to be epileptic. I wet my meds when I was 12. I had a very severe stutter. The first time I spoke in front of people, I was booed for 9 minutes. and I said, and in my head I was saying, screw you all, you're going to be stutter for 9 minutes. But I kept finding people who believed in you. And when you find people who believe in you, don't let them down. And when I say that, sometimes people are like, what do you mean? Do you mean I should become their slave? No, of course not. That's stupid. Don't become anyone's slave. But when you find people who believe in you, work as hard as you possibly can. And when you feel like, oh my God, I'm so tired, work harder. You're not working hard enough. And I think if you do that consistently, you will surprise yourself. You will accomplish things that no one around you thought you could accomplish. You'll accomplish things that even you did not think you could accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the panelists for sharing your words of wisdom and just sharing your belief in our fellows, which we all share in this room, so thank you so much. Please join me in thanking our panelists as they exit the stage. I think one thing I want to maybe reiterate is that we all believe 100% in each of you, each of our fellows, and we 100% believe that you are going to get the job and be successful as leaders. So not just Pursuit staff, but every person in this room and even more. So like Brian mentioned, work hard. Work hard to get it because we're behind you. So that is a good time to mention and remind everyone that today is, again, about exciting new careers, the beginning of them. And so want to share and show that today, the purpose of today is really to rally this big community together to work to further our mission for our fellows to get their first job in tech. So if you're interested in volunteering with us, please reach out to Alexis, who is right here. She's raising her hand. She does incredible work in managing our volunteers, mentors. Please reach out to her. We always welcome and need many people to help us in our mission. And if you work for a company that's interested in hiring one of our very, very talented fellows that you've seen today, please speak to myself, Will over here, any of the Pursuit staff really. We would be happy to talk to you more about how we can make that happen. As I mentioned, our fellows have been hired at some of the best companies, and we'd love to find opportunities for them work at some of yours. And lastly, I want to take a moment to just say thank you again to all of the family and friends that are here. We know that none of this could have been possible without your support behind the scenes, days, nights. I'm sure there's a lot that you all did. So just want to maybe take a moment to just thank and celebrate everyone. And also I want to thank our Pursuit staff and team members. Everyone, there's all of the folks standing here and in the seats. There was so much work that went into putting this together, and I just really, really appreciate not just the individual efforts, but just everyone being such a great team. So thank you so much. And now I want to invite all of our guests to join us for a little reception here, and also to a chance to meet the developers, meet all the fellows, and get to know them and get to hear their stories more. So please enjoy refreshments. Fellows and instructors, please stay behind for a photo op. One last big round of applause for all of our fellows.